It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. That, of course, is Dokken from their Broken Bones release, and that features John Levin on guitar. And speaking of John Levin on guitar, man, he spent 90 minutes with us, dude.
We got our own concert tonight, didn't we?
We did. We got 90 minutes of John Levin. Dude,
I was just saying it in the chat room. You know, people don't know, you know, John or Don or whatever. You know, they know them in large part because of what they hear on this show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because this is where those guys are a lot more relaxed than, you know, any other interview that they'll do, because you obviously, you know, go to 10 shows, 15 shows a year with them and travel with them and, you know, and whatnot. And I obviously know them and work professionally with Don and John, and, you know, John is my lawyer. And so I have that segment of my life with John as well. But bottom line is we know those guys, so they get loose with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I was saying in the chat room is people don't realize, I know, you know, it's always fun to bust balls, and it's fun to bust your balls because you're playing Dokken every show and blah, 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 blah. But the fact is, the four of them, not just Don, not just John, but, you know, the four of them, as well as anybody that has ever been in the band since I've known them, has always been unbelievably friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And far more gracious and, you know, and nice than any other band that I know. Any band that I know at all. The Dokken guys, I've got nothing bad to say about. Always gracious, always cool. Thursday, John did not have to hook Kelly's friends up.
Right.
He didn't have to, but sure enough, I showed up at the gig and there was 4 tickets and 4 backstage passes.
Mm-hmm.
Have to do that. He's just being cool, you know, and spent time with them. And, you know, he just played a fucking show, for God's sakes. He could have been like, all right, shake my hand, take my picture, now beat it, you fucks. You know, and instead he was like, hey, come on in, sit down. You know, you guys don't mind if I eat while you guys, you know, ask me whatever you want to ask me.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean, it's just, they're nice dudes. And I think that segment that we just did it definitely proved that.
Yeah, who spends 90 minutes on a show just playing riffs?
Yeah, I know. It's great. And I'll tell you what, dude, the video looks awesome.
Oh, cool.
The video looks really cool.
Good.
It broke into 3, but it's like you're like half, and then me and John are like half of halves.
Right.
Quarters, I guess. You know, so it's a nice looking 3-shot. It looks really cool.
Cool.
So, yeah, good segment. That'll be up on Wednesday for people that want to actually watch the video of that. And I can't believe this is the first time I'm going to say this. This is one that you guys should watch. I honestly think this is one that you guys should watch, because I have a feeling that it's a very different experience watching that, because me and you were just watching it.
Yeah.
I think it's a very different experience than just hearing it. What do you think?
Well, just seeing him get up off of his stool there and just grab a different guitar and then start working out the chords a little bit on the neck, and then deciding that guitar wasn't the right one, and so he had to go grab a different guitar that had a different tone or different style to it, plug it in, then figure out what effects he wanted to use with it, because he had his whole effects board on the floor there.
Right.
And, you know, whether he needed some reverb or anything. Yeah. And figuring out which effect, which guitar, which all that worked together best to mimic,
sure,
you know, whatever riff he was going to play.
Exactly. And just watching him, and this is something I know did not go across when you're listening, but will go across when you watch it. Watching him listen to the songs and just barely fingering around with his guitar a little bit, and then 2 seconds later playing it was like, fucking A. You know, I mean, you can definitely tell, like, some of it he's probably never played in his life.
Yeah, he's listening real close to catch the rhythm and catch whatever it is going on there, and then he's like figuring out on the fretboard what it is they're doing there, and then it's just okay, I got it.
Yeah, it was cool to watch.
Yeah.
It was I enjoyed watching him do that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was.
I mean, he's in his production room there, and he's got 4 or 5 guitars, and he's like switching out guitars real quick. And I mean, we're literally doing it under a minute.
Yeah, I mean, as you were playing songs, he's getting up and running around and plugging in guitars. And it was quite the viewing, to say the least.
Quite the show.
I will promise you, especially you YouTube people that watch a million fucking videos, you've never seen anything quite like what we just watched. It was definitely interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm sure John has better things to do on a Saturday night than to sit there and perform like that. But that was a lot of fun. It
was his idea.
Yeah. Well, good.
Yeah, he said it to me on Thursday. He's like, "Yeah, I want to come on and just play guitar." So, okay, cool.
Well, it worked, and it sounded great, and it was a lot of fun. So everybody should enjoy it when it's the video is available.
And boy, we've come a long way since Images of Eden, haven't we?
Sure have.
We got that thing together. Bip, bip, bip. No problems, no hang-ups, nothing. Just happened, and it happened right.
Excellent.
Oh, good.
Well, speaking of guitarists, you got to speak to Michael Wilton this week of Queensryche.
I did.
And you spoke to him a little bit about the whole pledge music thing. I know you broached the subject there with John a little bit. Mm-hmm. But you said you wanted to kind of revisit this for just a minute, only because you actually spoke to a member of Queensryche who fell victim to this whole pledge music thing. So why don't you go ahead and lead with that?
Well, I mean, the thing, and I said this last week on the show, so I want the fans to I don't care if they acknowledge it, wrong word. I want the fans to at least hear that I honored my commitment to them when we were talking about pledge music. Because I did say last week on the show that I would ask them directly if they were going to honor the orders. And I absolutely did ask him as directly as possible, will you honor the orders that people, that fans made? And he had an answer, and I'll be honest, we'll talk about his answer after you play it.
All right.
But, oof.
All right. Well, here's Chris talking to guitarist Michael Wilton of Queensryche and discussing the whole pledge music thing.
Right.
Side of Queensryche right now, of course, is the pledge music thing. And I mean, you guys have, like a lot of bands, you got snake bit hard by this, and probably more than most, because you're probably the biggest band that was using pledge music, I think.
I think Judas Priest is on there, and I think they were a little well, I don't know. I just, someone told me that. So.
Sure. Well,
is that true or not?
I don't know the answer to that.
And why is a band like Judas Priest on pledge music?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know that they are. He said he didn't know. He just said he was told that.
I don't know any. If they were, I didn't know anything about it.
All right. Okay.
But it's a mess. It's just a mess. It's crowdfunding is a it's a glorified fan club.
Sure.
Where you're in a platform with millions of people, and you can do pre-sales on CDs, and the record companies love it.
Yeah, of course they love it, because they get their money up front, or they're supposed to anyway.
Yeah. Judas Priest was indeed on pledge music.
Really? Okay.
For Firepower.
And I guess the question I have is, who released the Judas Priest Firepower?
Well, let me look on Wiki. Judas Priest Firepower was released by Wikipedia. Studio. Epic. Epic Records.
You got to think, and again, I'm only talking from somebody, I don't really know the whole story. Mm-hmm. Judas Priest has been around for 40 plus years. Mm-hmm. And they're on pledge music.
Yeah, they're just trying to make some extra bucks, I guess.
I don't know. That just doesn't set well with me.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, the highest amount valued stuff they seem to have is, or have had. I guess not anymore, but is a signed Richie Faulkner guitar bundle with like a album and looks like a CD for $2,100.
$2,100.
Yeah, and a signed Tipton bundle with the guitar for $2,100.
Holy shit! So Richie Faulkner's bundle is as valuable as Glenn Tipton.
Yeah, you'd think that Tipton's would be worth more just because it's more of a hassle to sign it these days. I think that'd be $3,100 or so, wouldn't you?
Yeah, this guy took a lot of effort to do that.
Too soon?
Yeah, I guess. But still. I don't know. I just have a hard time. You know, people giving Kiss a lot of shit about them whoring their gear.
Right.
But what are these guys doing? They're doing the same thing. Now, granted, their cost or the money that they're asking for is not as astronomical.
Right.
But it's still the same principle.
Yeah. I mean, I can't fathom why. What I can't fathom is why Judas Priest needed to go through a third-party company to sell autographed shit.
That's kind of what I'm driving at there.
Why can't they just put it on JudasPriest.com?
Yeah.
You know, Lord knows Jane Andrews knows how to manage that band. What's she doing?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. I'm just getting back.
But yeah, you know, a couple of weeks ago, I got a phone call from the management. And it's like DEFCON 5
right.
pledge. All the money's gone. What? So
that's
insane. That money, you know, that they stole from us is basically was going to pay for the orders that we had made. You know, when you order CDs from a record company, it's net 30 days.
Right.
You know, when you order merchandise, you know, it's payment on delivery.
Right.
So we're all of a sudden, it's like, wow, this sucks for us, but it sucks for the fans worse, you know, because, you know, some of them are getting refunds, some of them are not, and it just leaves a salty taste in your mouth all around.
Absolutely. Will you guys, I don't know, I'll just ask it directly, will you guys bite the bullet and invest in the fans that invested in you and fulfill all the orders that were made?
That was a good way of phrasing that, by the way.
I didn't want to shit on it.
Well, no, but I like the fact that you really put it in a very blunt way. Will you invest in the fans that invested in you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what they did.
Yeah, well, I know that. But my point is that most people, at least most interviewers, would not be as direct and say, you know what, these fans are buying an investment in their band. Are you going to return it and invest in them?
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Most people wouldn't ask that question at all, I don't think.
Well, yeah, not at all, but not phrase it in such a way that if you answer outside of yes, we will, you look like a turd.
Yeah. Well, get ready.
All right, here we go.
That can't be refunded?
Yeah, I mean, well, just, you know, in that sense, it's, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, so it's a lot of work trying to figure out, you know, it's like an honor roll, I guess.
Right.
Did you get refunded or not? You know, it's like, I don't know. But it's something that we're, you know, every day we're trying to, you know, ratify and make, you know, good with people. But, you know, obviously we can't, you know, you're talking six figures, you know, so
right.
it's kind of hard to take it in the shorts, you know. But we're working on it and trying to figure out the best way that, you know, both of us can come on, you know, semi unscathed.
Sure. Is Century Media being cool about, you know, maybe not holding you to a 30-day tag on the new music or whatever, because they know what's going on, obviously.
You know, I don't know. I think, you know, all this stuff is being worked out, and I'm not talking to them about it. And,
right.
I think we're more trying to figure out, okay, this money went into this account in London, England, and it's gone now. Where did it go?
Oh, jeez.
Well, I'll tell you where it went. It got embezzled. That's where it went.
Yeah. And it stops there. I mean, he might say a couple more words.
Yeah, I get it, but
the gist. But man, I didn't like that answer at all, personally. If I was a fan and I heard that, I'd be pissed. Wouldn't you? Well,
yeah. I mean, maybe it's too early for him to give a definitive answer, but who's managing Queensryche? Because he says I got a call from the management.
I don't know. Used to be Susan, but she's obviously not.
Yeah, because they used to manage their own band when Susan was, with Jeff.
Right.
But now they have somebody on the outside.
Sure. Yeah, I love the guys in Queensryche. They have been nothing but cool to me forever. I'm going to put that up front. They've always been great. And to be fair, before I start smashing, to be fair, I honestly do believe, from talking to Michael, that they're making their decision with the best of intentions. But I think they're making a terrible decision. I think the answer has to be yes, we will absolutely honor it whether you get a fucking refund or not. Honestly. And I know they probably don't have a legal necessity to do that, but it does not matter. This is not a fucking grocery store where you take back a bad pear if you fucking bought it and it's bad. And if they don't refund it, then you fucking, if you got a bad piece of food and they won't refund it, you probably still shop at that grocery store.
There's probably a highly likely you would, yes.
Yeah. Bands are not like that. Bands, especially bands that would do a crowdfunding campaign, they are dealing with the hardest of hardcores. They are dealing with the people that literally play into what we always make fun of, that think of their band guy as a god, not as just a dude. They're not the people that listen and say, oh, I like Queensryche songs. They had like 2 or 3 really good ones. These are the people that are like, I named my son Reich.
Or I name my son Dokken.
Yeah, exactly. Well, but that guy is one of those guys. I guarantee you that guy that named his son Dokken, if Dokken, the band, did a crowdfunding thing, he'd buy everything on the fucking crowdfund. Don't you think?
Well, I'm sure he would. I mean, and they did drive a considerable distance to attend that show a few weeks ago that I hooked them up with.
But that's what I'm saying is there's those kind of fans, and then there's
the casual fan.
Kind. And those kind of fans are the ones that do pledge music.
Right.
Those are the ones that want the $150 vinyl that's signed by all the guys. Mm-hmm. Those are the ones that want the stage-used drum head and the opportunity to spend 4 hours golfing with Michael Wilton. Those are those fans.
Right.
And those are the ones that are going to get fucked and dude, you've watched every episode of The Shield, right? Have you watched The Shield?
No.
Okay, well, there's an episode of The Shield where the police captain he's running to be the mayor of the city councilman, rather. Okay, and as he's running to be the city councilman, there's a lady that is an absolute worshiper of him. I don't know if she wants to fuck him or what, but she's just like she's a worshiper, and she's standing outside some fucking grocery store trying to recruit people to vote for him.
Okay.
And she doesn't have a permit, so the police roll up on her and they tell her that she has to go because she doesn't have a permit. She won't go, so she gets arrested. They bring her back to the police station, and they go and they get the captain and they tell him, dude, we don't really want to bust her out for nothing, but maybe you could talk to her and tell her that she can't set up for the grocery store.
Yeah, she can't canvas out in a public area without a permit.
Right. So he comes up to her and she's locked in the cage. He lets her out and he lets her off without being fined or anything. And he says, look, I really appreciate the sentiment. I think it's cool, but really all I need is your vote. I don't want you to go out there where it's not legal. And, I just want you to give your vote for me, and that's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Polite way out. Fast forward 10 minutes. She's back outside the grocery store with a sign that says, fuck David Aceveda. He's an asshole. And don't vote for him. Vote for his competition.
Right, of course.
That's what Queensryche is doing.
Yeah.
If they don't honor this shit, they are going to cross off a lot of diehards from their fan base. And I know it's not their fault, but you know what? Sometimes in business, things happen that aren't your fault, and you have to fucking
make it right.
Suck it up and make it right.
Well, I think we pointed this out last week that people were not investing in Pledge Music. They were investing in Queensryche.
Right, of course.
And most people don't understand that Pledge Music is just a third-party thing. They think, I'm giving my money to Queensryche.
Yeah, of course.
So they don't think of Pledge Music as an entity all in its own. All they know is that my $50 or my $100 went to Queensryche.
Right.
They don't consider Pledge Music as the go-between.
No.
So it's just like, wait a minute. I threw my $100 your way, and you're telling me I'm getting nothing?
Yeah. And that's how it's perceived.
And then it's just like, well, you did it through Pledge Music, and Pledge Music is the one who screwed you. Well, but your name was on it.
Yeah, I wasn't buying the Pledge Music fucking backstage laminate.
Yeah.
I was buying the Queensryche laminate.
Right.
That is signed by you fucks, not by the CEO of Pledge Music.
Exactly.
I mean, is it a bad situation?
It is. It's terrible. It's a shame, but I don't know enough about the logistics, but I just don't understand why these established bands, be it Queensryche, Judas Priest, a metal church, whomever, they just don't do this on their own.
I don't get it.
I don't know why I understand that Pledge Music probably offered a lot of services. Like, well, we'll take care of this, and we'll collect the money, and we'll put it in this, and we'll escrow it, and we'll do this, and we'll do that. Yeah. And I get the convenience of it for the band, and then at the end of the campaign, after 10 months, we'll cut you a check for $80,000 or whatever your goal was, and be done with it. And I go, yeah, that's cool. We'll accept an $80,000 check. But me personally, I don't understand, and you and I have talked about this on the show a million times. If a band like an established band, let's just say Dokken, since John was on the show, decided to make a record, why not just market that through your own website?
Yeah.
I mean, what purpose does a record label serve these days?
Yeah. It's the same with any product, dude. Or not any product, but I'll give you a direct right here from this desk product that's very similar. My books. When I wrote Victories, I had that deal, as you remember.
Right.
I had a deal with a legitimate major publishing house, and they paid me. I'll say the number. They paid me $11,000. And because we couldn't come to terms on some of the creative element of the book, I had to give the money back. I kept my book and they took their advance back. That's how it worked. Now, by the grace of God, I have so many, fans of the show. And I mean, there's other people that bought Little Victories, but clearly the bulk of the people that bought Little Victories were the fans of the show.
Of course.
and I was very fortunate that we have a large fan base to where I could make that money. But now, since then, I've done the math, and I figured out the math of doing it myself versus doing it, going and trying to find another publisher for some of the other books that I'm writing. And the math is so much in my favor. The only negative to doing it myself is doing it myself. Is doing the artwork myself and doing the mailings and shit like that myself. But you know what? I mean, I'll tell the numbers on Little Victories and on Call Me Chris, which are the big two. I was making, and probably still am making, about $8 to $9 a book when I sell one. And if I was with a publisher, I would get X amount of money for an advance, and I would get roughly $1.50 a book. So if you do the math, it's not worth it. I lose $7 a book times, 2,000 to 2,500 books. And then take $5,000 out of that, and I still would have lost $8,000 or something. Math-wise, it doesn't make sense. But I had to learn the hard way. I have a feeling for a lot of these bands, like a Queensryche, they're learning the very hard way on a much bigger scale with this pledge music, that they should have just done it their fucking selves.
Yeah.
Just sucks. It just sucks. And I feel bad. I really do feel bad because they are really nice guys, but motherfuck, they got to honor their fans. And I know I sent you the Three Tremors thing. They got fucked by pledge music as well. That's Ripper and our friend Sean Peck.
Right.
And Harry Conklin from Jag Panzer. That's their band. And they got fucked by pledge. But they put out this statement today basically saying, yeah, we heard what the other guys are doing. We're not doing that. We're going to honor your shit. Did you get that, or do you want me to find it?
No, I'll just take your word for it. I did not see it.
Oh, it was on the email that I sent you.
Which email was it?
The one about Queensryche.
Oh, about this?
Yeah.
Let's take a look here.
Where I had the link, and then it should have been either an attachment or in the email.
Oh, okay, here it is. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, according to this, the Three Tremors said, reminder, no need to ask for a refund. We already have shipped your orders. We deal with pledge, so you don't have to. Unlike a lot of other bands on the site, we so appreciate your support that we are sending everything, even though we do not know when pledge will pay us or if they will pay us. Right. We think it's bullshit to tell supporters, sorry, you will just have to deal with them yourself. It's not our fault. So with the Three Tremors, you are getting your stuff. Also, everything has shipped except the colored vinyls, which we're waiting to get this week. The good news is that we sold out of everything and had to repress the digi into vinyls. So please remember this moving forward with you when you decide to buy another product from the Three Tremors or Steel Cartel. We will always put the fans first. I'd like disappointed actions of some other metal bands out there. Let's see. It's not
right. I mean, I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in the actions of some of the other metal bands out there.
Huh? Sounds like that's a direct reaction to our interview.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
I mean, he didn't call him by name, but yeah, I mean, now, admittedly, let's be fair. Three Tremors is probably a few $1,000s, not a few $100,000.
Right.
But still, they're still honoring their commitment, which is admirable.
Which is, unfortunately, even if they have to take it in the shorts, that's what they have to do.
Well, it's the right thing to do. I don't know this to be fact, but I'm going to make a guess here that our friend in the chat room, and if you're listening, Jackal, call in, because I'm going to guess that Jackal bought the Three Tremors from Pledge Music. I'm going to make that guess right now because, one, I know he would buy anything that Ripper's doing, And if it's a pre-order, that's like pussy to Jackal. You know, he loves to order those pre-orders. So, you know, I know for a fact if the band would have fucked him over and he didn't know Ripper, that'd be the last time he dealt with the band. He'd be out there saying, "No, whoever, no Three Tremors. They suck, man. They fucked me. I know it." So they kept that kind of a fan because he's a hardcore fan.
Right.
You know, that's the problem that Queensryche's going to face. It might cost them $100,000 to fix this shit, but you know what? That's $100,000 they will recoup.
Yeah. Over time.
Yeah, over time. That's the problem.
Right. Is that you, Jackal?
Hell yeah. Hail and kill, boys.
Did you buy Three Tremors?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the one I was telling you. I got the T-shirt and the posters and the stickers and all that other shit with.
Now, so if they would have told you, well, it was on Pledge and tough shit, what would your reaction have been?
Well, I'd have been pissed off. I'd have been pissed off at Pledge and probably the band a little bit.
Only a little?
Well, I mean, knowing Ripper, if I didn't know Ripper, yeah, I'd probably have been a lot more pissed off.
Right. If the band was, I don't know, Sean Peck and Harry Conklin and Jeff Tate, I'm just throwing a name in there, would you ever buy something from that band again if they just told you, well, you're going to have to deal with that company, and if you don't get it, tough shit?
Probably not.
See?
Probably not. Just depends how good, and no, probably not.
Right.
Fuck
and you're
that.
One of those guys that we're talking about, one of those more hardcore music fans that fucking you will absolutely spend your money because you really support the bands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys know me well. Well enough. Fuck yeah. When I'm hardcore on somebody, I fucking buy pretty much everything from that band.
Yeah. Now, if Night Demon did a crowdfunding through Pledge Music and they didn't honor it, would you be fans with them anymore?
Well, I would never do that because they take care of me anyhow. I wouldn't have to order anything from Pledge Music from them. They'd fucking send it to me.
Oh, well, let me do it a different way then.
Okay.
Let's say that they did a GoFundMe or a Pledge Music campaign, and they got fucked hard on Pledge, and you had 3 really close friends of yours that bought the Night Demon stuff through Pledge. Would you go out of your way to go directly to the band to fix it, at least for those friends?
Yeah, I would, and knowing them guys, I'm pretty sure they would make good of it.
They'd say, "Fuck you, Jackal. We're not coming out of pocket for this."
Nah, they're pretty good guys. They're very, very fan-friendly people. I will say that. I don't think they'd fuck. I think they would take care of their fans.
Well, I mean, dude, as I'm saying over and over, the Queensryche guys and I've interacted with that. I mean, I do not profess to be friends with any of those guys, but I do profess to have spent time with them,
right?
Like, including partying with them in Akron once. At the hotel.
Right.
Nice guys, very nice guys, very friendly. Never put off. I never saw them not, say, hey, I'm not going to sign an autograph or I won't take a picture. Nothing. Always friendly, but they're in that rock and a hard place between what makes sense fiscally and what makes sense as a band.
Right.
And I personally, and again, it's only my opinion, and maybe other people think I'm wrong, but I think a band is different than a business. I don't think it matters what legally is right or wrong in this. I think what matters is they got to honor their fans or else they've got nothing. It's different than a company that sells fucking tires or something.
No, I agree with you there. I mean, if it wasn't for the fans, there'd be no bands.
Yeah.
Or, worth a fuck anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I gotta admit, if I fucking spent a lot of money on this shit, I'd be pissed, and I'd probably say fuck them guys then, and the hell with it.
Yeah.
You know,
and you would make sure every friend you know knows it as well.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, and you know, it's really hard to say it's something with, you know, Knight even just because of the, you know, relationship.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, I know that from what I've seen with them, they're always, you know, they always sit and yak with the fan. I think they would take care of them if it came down to something like that. Of course, now with the way the business is, I don't know that they would do something like that. Especially pretty much. Well, I mean, any band after this fucking debacle with Pledge, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know, I understand, man. It's fun. Like I told you too, I had done 5 or 6 of those before and never had a problem till this Spirits of Fire thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know, I was fortunate to get the refund. And in fact, the CD came yesterday, so I did get that from Amazon. So, but
yeah,
it is what it is. Like, you know,
it's good that you got. You know, it's good that you got your stuff, but I mean, and it sucks that the band probably didn't get paid. You know, I'm sure the band's honoring it because that's Ripper as well. So I'm sure Ripper and Chris Caffrey's another guy that.
Right.
You know, Caffrey obviously makes enough money that he can bite the bullet on what he does for Spirits of Fire because he makes all that TSO money. But
right, and he's a really nice. I've met him a couple of times, and he's been a really cool guy to talk to. You know, I don't know the other guys in the band, but Ripper and Caffrey are 2 of the nicest guys I've met.
Caffrey's always been nice to me. Just don't tell AOR Rocks that.
I've never had a problem with him. I've met him at least twice, maybe 3 times, and he's always been courteous, signed shit, took pictures, the whole ball of wax.
Yeah, he's nice. He's always been nice to me too. He gave me front row tickets to fucking TSO one year.
God damn, that is nice.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I had asked his publicist for tickets, and he called me himself and said, "Hey, how many do you need, buddy?" And I was like, 2. And I went to the show. I was in fucking row 1. I was like,
"Oh,
rock
that's cool
on."
as hell. Hell yeah. So.
Well, Jackal, did you enjoy the John Levin segment tonight?
Yeah, actually, I mean, he seems like a really nice guy, and he's a good player. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player or nothing.
Yeah, he's no George Lynch, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, fuck. And, you know me, man, I'm hardcore. I've never been a huge Dawkins fan, but I did like a lot of the, you know, the early stuff.
Of course.
So, you know, I'm not going to say he's shit or nothing. I mean, he can play. Obviously, if he's been playing with the band for 19 years or whatever you said, it's obviously Don likes him, so.
I thought it was funny that he didn't know All We Are, and he was in that band.
I know. I thought the same thing. I was kind of shocked. You know, it's obvious. I'm guessing he's a lot younger there, or at least 20 years younger than me.
No, he's 51.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I would thought he would have known more of that classic 70s stuff then. That some of the callers were asking about.
When those guys come up, they play what they come up on. And he came up basically he would have been, you know, because I'm 50, so me and him are the same age. He would have been in his high school years learning to play guitar in the Motley Crue, Poison Warrant, you know, Skid Row time. He wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have grown up on Richie Blackmore and Jimmy Page. Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised that. I'm guessing that's probably what he liked. Then I'm thinking when I think of 80s, you know me, I think of the new wave of British heavy metal, then, which, you know, 81, 82, 83 stuff. But
yeah, but you're an old fuck.
I know. Well, we know that. Fuck, I'm too old school, man. I can't help it. It's the shit I like.
All right, now beat it.
All right. Hail and kill, boys. Fuck you, pal. Hand job and fuck Taylor.
There goes Jackal.
I always like that phrase, beat it.
Beat it.
Just beat it.
Go on, get out of here. Just beat it.
Such a fucking 1955 phrase.
Just leave me alone. Beat it.
When did people say beat it? Was that like the beaver, leave it to beaver age?
Yeah, in the 50s.
Beat it. And you and your buddy just scram, see?
Yeah, scram.
Yeah, scram.
Scram.
Too funny.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, see? Scram, me and my dame are going to go and cut a rug.
So good.
Give me a slow gin fizz.
Right.
You on the fizz. I don't know very much old-timey words.
Yeah.
Funny, though.
A slow gin fizz.
Isn't that's an oldie time drink, right?
Yeah, it's a gin and tonic is what it is.
But they called it a slow gin fizz
because it was slow gin. That was the gin that they used. So it was called SLO gin.
Okay.
A slow gin fizz, which is basically just a gin and tonic.
Okay. I did not know that. I've ordered one once, but I didn't drink it.
Yeah.
I've told this story before. I'm not going to even tell it. But I went to some bachelor party, and it turned out to be a bunch of old people at the bar. So I started ordering oldie time drinks, martinis, and slow gin fizz.
Yeah.
Just to be a douche.
Yeah, it's SLOE.
I did not know.
Slow gin. It's
a
red liqueur made with gin and slow, SLOE.
It's a great elixir for doing the Charleston too.
It's kind of like a gin Shirley Temple in a way.
Yummy. A Shirley Temple.
It's like a plum. It's like a plum gin.
Okay.
And they put it in with tonic water, the fizzy tonic water. Yeah. So it was like kind of like a sweet soda drink.
You like gin?
I don't drink gin.
Gin is awful.
Yeah, I don't drink gin at all.
When I was in Korea, it was about the only time I ever drank gin, and I really didn't drink it as much as the brothers would for their Saturday parties.
Mm-hmm.
They watermelons, and they would cut holes in the top of the watermelons, and they would put like 2 or 3 bottles of gin.
Yeah, it's kind of a watermelon shooter is what it becomes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we would just get all fucked up eating the watermelon. And even that tasted kind of gross.
Yeah.
That shit was not very tasty.
If I drink a clear liquor, it's usually vodka. It's not gin. I'm not a gin. Gin, for me, I don't know. It's the only way that I can describe gin is in my description. It's kind of perfumey.
Perfumey?
Yeah, it has sort of like a funky taste to it.
And that aftertaste. It does have that weird after bite to it.
Yeah, I don't dig that at all.
I don't like it.
Nope.
I'm not a fan of gin at all.
No, like I said, I'll drink vodka, but I'm not a gin fan.
Yeah.
But see, rum every now and again, if you have like some Bacardi 151.
151,
ooh, that shit'll knock you on your ass.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I only use that as a mixer, though. But that's some really strong shit.
I won't drink 151. No, thank you. I have before, and I told that story about getting all fucked up on it at the UFC party and losing my wedding ring and everything else because I was all loaded on 151. And I can honestly say I've had one mouthful of it since, and that was all the way back to when I was married. So that was at least 10, 11 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
151 is just fucking poison.
Hail and Kill Call, you're on the air.
Hail Kill, guys. It's Dan out of High Ground again. How we doing?
We're doing. What's on your mind?
Well, I mean, it seemed like a nice lull in the show and a good time to call with, just something kind of random. First of all, Chris, like, at your pinball shop, like, you pay a, straight fee and go in and play all you want.
Really? Am I going to do a sales pitch for Pinball PA now?
No, but I'm saying, that guy was right. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, this guy, you probably are being skimmed.
You've been sitting here thinking about this for the last 4 hours.
No, God, no, that was just a way I was going to start the conversation or whatever. Anyway, enough of that. So last night at work, I'm listening to songs on shuffle, and the song "My Own Prison" by Creed comes on. Now, I've never been a big Creed fan, but that's a great fucking song. It just is.
Okay.
And it got me to thinking, back 20 years ago, how that band was fucking huge. I mean, Creed was huge. And they're just gone. It's like they've been erased from, I would think they would be today's classic rock, but it's like they never even happened.
Yeah, that's because they're called Alter Bridge.
Yeah, because Alter Bridge is out now, which is still big.
Alter Bridge is big, but it's nothing that the Colossus that Creed was. And I wasn't a Creed fan, but I was there, and I remember how big they were. And you don't hear any of those songs on the radio. They're never spoke of. It's like, how could a band that big just...
I'll give you the answer, Dan. It's there's a couple reasons. One, the Christian thing fucked them. They were able to deal with it when they were an active band, but once they went away, people are like, fuck that fucking bunch of Jesus-thumping fucks. Beat it with that shit.
Okay.
Scram!
Well, my view, would be,
all right, don't let me finish, Dan. Now you go.
Though.
Go ahead, Dan. I wasn't done, but go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to learn the give and take. Go ahead.
Well, here, let me take some more. The second part of the problem with them is the fact that Scott Stapp went fucking nuts. And anytime your singer proves himself out to be have a loose screw in his head, people are done with your band.
Yeah, they distance themselves from that.
And that's why, that's why Creed went away. That's why, what was that other band? Art of Anarchy. That's why that didn't take off. He just Stapp this week signed a new record deal with somebody. That's going to fucking stiff. It's not going to do anything because he's been proven to be fucking nuts.
Sure. Yeah, no, I hear you, but I don't know. I mean, I would think as time goes by, things will fall by the wayside, and in the end, the product speaks for itself. And for one hot minute, I mean, they were fucking huge with anthemic, great songs that have it's like they never even happened.
Well, we get
and I
that.
just think that's really weird.
Now you're repeating yourself, but regardless of that,
I know.
a couple of things, as Chris pointed out, is that they were just lightning in a bottle. Mm-hmm. And that's it. And once that went away, everything else went away. And because the band, not specifically the band, but Scott Stapp, especially here in Chicago, it's on you can even look it up, that he was so drunk in front of a arena crowd, he couldn't perform. And that made the news all over the place. And then they tried to do it again, and they tried to do it again, and they failed miserably because they just could not perform because Scott couldn't get his shit together. And people were just like, you know what? We're so done with this. Forget it. Mm-hmm. It's just it's just like Queensryche. If they were to screw their fans on this whole pledge music stuff, their career's done.
Yeah.
Agree.
I mean, they were as big as I remember them being, right?
They were huge on the commercial radio, yes.
They were big.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wonder if they'll ever, come back around again, if they're a Hall of Fame kind of band.
I could almost promise you those guys want nothing to do with Scott Stapp.
Sure, I know that. But, I pulled up the greatest hits disc, and it's, just song after song after song that I used to hate because they overplayed them so much 20 years ago. I hated them all. But they're all, good God, I mean, they were played constantly then.
Here's your answer, dude. You think Pearl Jam's an equal band to Creed? Pearl Jam. Or bigger?
Pearl Jam, I would say, is a bigger band. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam, who never had a fuck up like that, and who you're even admitting is a bigger band, they have basically two songs that are on classic rock radio, and that's it. They have Jeremy and they have
Sure.
Even Flow.
Even Flow, and that's it.
Right.
And they've had 20
Daughter,
years of good
they
albums.
will play Daughter a lot. Yeah. But I mean, somehow they maintain a huge draw. You know, they tour like stadiums and stuff, and I don't really get it. I used to love Pearl Jam, the early stuff, but I don't get it, like why they're as popular as they are still.
So is this what your Saturday night consists of, listening to us and getting high or stoned or something?
No, I'm not really high or stoned. I'm probably just a little burnout. No, every Saturday night, I got my 5-year-old here. She's crashed beside me, so that keeps me in. You know, single dad.
All right.
So how many bud did you smoke tonight?
I don't think you saw.
I like 2-3 bowls, maybe. I don't know.
I guess that's wrong.
You know, I not as much as I used to.
That's
I get it. I'm super laid back, and I don't know. I mean, people mistake me for being like stoned all the time.
I didn't mistake you. I think I hit it right on the head.
No, or just being a stoner.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah. Just don't sit on your child and suffocate her when you're just.
Oh no, I won't. I'm like the complete like nihilist. I honestly really don't care about anything.
Yeah, sure you don't. You're comfortably numb. Just put on your put on your Pink Floyd albums and just kind of just veg out, man. Cool.
yeah. No, you know, there's many years were spent like that. But yeah, no.
I think it's still going on, dude. I don't think it's just many years spent like that.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm a funny fuck, right?
Okay with it.
Right, Dan?
You are a funny fuck. Like,
all right, Dan. I think your manager's calling you.
Hey, I was just, you know, you were keeping the conversation going. I was talking to you. But yep, she's laying here telling me to get the fuck off the phone. So.
All right, Dan.
Hail kill. Hey, hand job, hail kill, and all that stuff.
Scram. Yeah, man. I just like, you know, fucking guys, man.
Dude.
You know, I was thinking about what happened to Creed. You know, it's been like 20 years. You know who know the answer? Chris and Neely, man. They would know the answer. What happened to Creed? I wasn't a fan. Didn't care for him. Not a fan at all. But, you know, God damn it, they had a lot of songs. And I was sitting here. What happened to Creed?
Chris, I know you know Mark Tremonti. What's he think about Creed coming back, dude?
What happened? How come they don't play them anymore, man? I like scan through my classic rock radio. I'm not hearing Creed anywhere, man.
Dude, it doesn't even come up on my playlist. Even if I add it, it just skips it. Dude! It's in my playlist, though. It's called Smoking Much Herb. On my playlist, man, and it's got a lot of Creed, dude.
By the way, you got Scott Stapp's phone number. I think he and I got a lot in common, man.
Can you talk to Mark Tremonti and tell him to bring Creed back together with Arms Wide Open? I like that song. Dude. I'm in my own prison like Creed, man.
Right.
Just me and my 5-year-old. It's my own prison.
This is what my life has been relegated to, man.
Dude, I haven't smoked too much pot tonight. Just 10 or 12 bowls. Dude.
Yeah, people mistake me for a stoner. I don't know why.
Can't imagine why. Just because I smell like a pot forest. Dude.
What the hell is wrong with people?